When you come down to these games with the Heat rivalry game, how much of it always comes down to defensive end and a focus on that end of the floor?
I mean, that's what it's been about. We understand how they play, and we know what we do. The defensive side of the floor is going to be the key factor. Being physical without fouling, we know it's going to be an aggressive battle, and that's what we expect, and that's what you look forward to it.
You guys played them on opening night, but obviously things were a bit different for your side. But they played the Thunder last night, you played the Thunder the night before. Yeah. What can you take away from that difference at all?
I mean, just understanding the similarities, how they guarded some of the actions that Oklahoma City ran, what we saw and what we know, how they played, how Oklahoma City played them. And you can take a lot from these games, just understanding how teams are going to play. Oklahoma did a lot of switching. They both do switching at times. So just knowing and understanding how they're executing both offensively and defensively is going to be key.
How's Jalen doing?
He's doing better. He's able to go through the walkthrough today. He's going to try to go through a shooting slot here and see how he feels.
How's Gary doing?
Similar. He's going to go through a little bit of shooting, did a little bit of the walkthrough, and we'll see how he feels.
It's been four games now since Franz went out. We've heard a couple players talk about how you guys are having to adjust the offense a little bit. Obviously, it may take some time after being so established in what you guys are trying to do. But how is that process going and trying to kind of find your way offensively?
Well, yesterday and today were great days for that. We talk about the confidence that they have when they have that ball in their hands. Anybody that's controlling the offense, sometimes we play through the bigs, their ability to command the floor and understand and get guys in their positioning, and then the intentionality of what we're doing. I think that's one thing we'll continue to look at and make sure these guys understand the concepts of how we want to play and the things we're trying to accomplish.
I know you guys aren't kind of in the moral victory business, but how important was the way that you guys played in that second half on Thursday to kind of building some confidence and kind of showing what you guys can do and what roles can settle into?
Well, this is already a confident group. Obviously there's going to be lulls and flows throughout the game, and just making sure we keep that confidence no matter what's happening throughout the game. Realizing, yes, basketball is a game of runs. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, but you can't ride the wave of that. And I think that was a great lesson for us to realize in the game was, okay, the teams are going to go on runs. You're going to find yourself up 10, you're going to find yourself down 10. But, you got to make sure you're playing for the full 48. Both sides of the ball, and mostly defensively, because you constantly give yourself a chance, whether shots are falling or not.
Whenever we talk to any of AB's teammates about kind of the way that he's playing there, it seems like you're always kind of mentioning the same thing, is they're always encouraging him to get downhill.
Yeah.
What does that process look like when you see it? How do they communicate?
Well, I've joked about it, early on in the year when he didn't have his braids. I think when his hair was out, you can tell when there's a presence and the hair is kind of just flowing and he's downhill, playing with speed, playing with pace. It's actually a beautiful thing to watch. And so I think that's what they're talking about, his aggression to be able to attack the basket and be more of who he is. Like, he's an attack-first guard, and that he's going to be able to make plays for guys as he gets down the floor and realizes what the defense is doing.
Everybody's body is different, so I'm going to ask this, but how is Franz doing? It's been a couple of weeks. How is he handling this process?
I mean, he's been great. He's been involved in everything we're doing. He's talking a ton in film sessions, giving small advice to guys on the sideline. His communication and the spirits have been fantastic when it comes to this, because it's also leaning in a little bit on Paolo and what he went through, during his stage, and so being able to communicate with one another, kind of the ups and downs that you're going to have as you go through this process. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
In these games against the Heat, rivalry games, how much are those the kind of games you're built for? Just kind of be defensive slugfests at times, very physical.
Yeah, these are ones that are pretty easy to get excited for. You don't have to go find any extra motivation. The past couple of years since I've been here, we've had really physical games. Real battles. And there's really no love lost. Between the 48 minutes, from the tip off to the end of the game. So. Understanding what happened at the beginning of the year as well, I think we're all mentally prepared to come out here and fight, be physical, and do whatever needs to be done.
Mose just told us that you're going to go do some shooting, but how are you feeling physically after a day or so?
Man, I'm feeling solid. I'm just trying to continue to get myself in position to play, basketball. I don't really have much else on that. Just kind of getting mentally prepared, for whatever tonight. But my mindset, I'm getting ready to go, as always.
Kind of a weird scheduling quirk where Miami played OKC a night after you guys played them. Do you when that happens, do you look at that and kind of study that and see how, maybe there was anything different between you two guys and how they played them, and then what can that do for you guys tonight?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We all watched it yesterday. We had a player-led scout today. So just getting able to hear, the voices of your teammates, of your peers, especially, give it kind of an open setting, to all share the info on what we took yesterday, not only from our game, but from the game against OKC. So, I thought it was great. Going to go back and watch, again before the nap, and then start the preparations. So, it's really nice, having that type of schedule work out.
It's been 4 games since Franz went out for you guys. You've heard a couple guys say that the offense is kind of being reconfigured a little bit. How do you feel like that process is going, and what's maybe changed? Obviously a lot's changed, but what's sort of been the change in how you guys have to operate to make things work?
That's going great. If you look at it from outside, it's the exact same thing that just happened to us 3-4 weeks ago. With Paulo going out, literally the same game span, the game flows have been the same. So we're just continuing to chip at it, continuing to play together, find ways in which everybody, can find their strengths. We have ways to attack the defense. And again, that's can only come with time. It sucks, and the moments always feel heavy, but literally can only get figured out, by going through these moments, by going through the bumps, and figuring it out, in real time. So I think it's been great. Again, nobody's strayed away from each other. Nobody's shied away from conversation or, trying to figure out any solutions. Everyone's mind is working together, and I think we're also gelling together, as we do that. So it's been fun, honestly. Challenge, but it's been fun.
I know you didn't play much in the second half, but how much of a confidence boost can you be to kind of find that offensive flow the way you guys did in that second half?
Oh, really good. Really good. Even not playing, we had spoken pregame, on how to still be engaged. Even when physically you're not 100%. So mentally, I was engaged all game. I was speaking to players, speaking up in huddles, to make sure that I was locked in, so that when time came in the dead ball, I was able to speak to, our guards. I was able to speak to our bigs, what I'm saying, about different things that are being seen, just motivation, just bringing a smile, whatever the case may be. So, it was great for me. Physically it's hard to see it in a moment. But to be locked in, from a different point of view, not so much physically, but mentally the other night. So, I thought it was great. Everybody found their way in the second half. We continued playing hard and fighting, which is the only thing you can ask for, and give ourselves really a position to be in the basketball game. Two more stops and 2 more makes, and, now we're talking about having a lead and finishing out a game. So, I thought it was great. Everybody did an amazing job.
What do you admire about Mo Wagner's game? Not only his skill, but
I love Mo's mindset. And it was really funny. Me and Mose laughed about this yesterday as we chopped it up. But I went to Mo, to talk about post entries, and how we can make it easier for them and try to get them the ball. And he just wasn't in the space to talk yet. He told me that he needed 10, 15 seconds really to get off of me. And it allowed me to take a step back and realize, that I also get in that same mode, and he has a extremely competitive and emotional mindset, and he's able to channel it, in a way that I'm trying to still learn from, the way that he can communicate through it. So it's been great, man. I love having Mo. I love when he's aggressive. He brings a whole nother bolt of energy, that he brings to the arena. And to me also, watching him play hard, get charges, scream and yell, and, really show his joy for the game is, it's really magnetic.
Well, I was gonna ask you about that. To have someone who brings that kind of intangible, how helpful is it during the course of 82-game season, where there are always inevitable dips for any team?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's great. It's great because now wherever we're at home, on the road, we're able to bring the juice, bring the energy, internally. We don't have to go search for it, from a crowd, from a chant, from a big play. He don't even have to make a big play. He can get a deflection. He's going to let you know about it and, bring a bit of confidence and motivation over to the bench. So having guys like that on the team is really special.
Kyle's been able to do some light shooting, some light stretching, everything like that. But as he begins to ramp up his work, what does it do for you guys to see him out in the court as he's doing?
I'm looking at him shoot right now while I'm jumping for joy on the inside. Just having his presence back amongst us is going to be amazing. He's used his voice throughout the time he's been out, and I know it's been hard for him. It always is, when you're not playing to speak up in times and things like that. But to see how mentally locked in he's been throughout this process, it's been really cool. I'm saying it's not an easy challenge. He's faced it head on. He's done everything that's been asked from him, and just really excited, to continue seeing him get back to himself and get back in the mix with us.
One final question. Who sets the toughest screens that you've had to go through?
He just got back playing, and I'm glad to see him on the court with Big Steve-O. Thank you.